Okay, good afternoon, folks. Hope everyone is well. I did just take a trade there, so I was a little bit running a bit late. That's where it was there. So let me just check everything is as it should be. Yeah, okay. Daryl, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, we seem to have kind of two legs down. We had two legs up, bearish bar there. I took that there. I dragged it down, actually. I got out a tick. What was available there? Yeah, so what I did is I didn't have my lock stop. As I took the short, I didn't have a profit and I didn't have a profit and a stop. I forgot to do it for some reason. It was set on nothing, so I had to just watch it down and hover over the close buttons. It caught me by surprise. I'm running a little late, actually. I've been up with my dog a lot of the night, so I was just having a quick sleep, and I literally just woke up 7 or 8 minutes ago. So, okay. Let me just get my bearings. But yeah, I literally opened everything up and all this, and I've been sat here literally for 2 minutes, and I saw those two legs up. I like that. I thought there's a higher low there, bullish bar trap there, and it worked anyway. So, Daryl, how you doing? Lofi, how are you? Karina, good morning. Lance, how you doing? Good name. Little Hammer, how you doing? Okay, so let me just check everything else is as it should be. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's a little bit choppy, isn't it? You know, you see a trade and you and R. So we had a drop out the bottom and then kind of this, but it is weaving backwards and forwards a little bit. But I've got that like that anyway. So let's hope we get a better day today. I took a loss yesterday. I have my set now to if I take a loss, I can't touch my accounts. Why is that not playing? Okay, yeah, I can't touch my accounts. I think you're going to probably hear some sound, aren't you? Let me just kill the sound, otherwise drive around the twist. Yeah, I think I'm much better when if I take one loss, it can affect my trading, I think. So I prefer to just get in and get out. One loss and I'm done for the day. Let me just bring that over a touch. Drag that back. Nearly there, So, I hope everyone had a good day yesterday. Yeah, I got a sick dog at the moment, so my head's really not in the game so much at the moment. Having said that, she has perked up a little bit today. She's eaten for the first time in 3 days. So we're due to have her put to sleep tomorrow. So everyone's thinking, do we or did we wait? She's got terminal cancer anyway, so so we're just thinking, as long as her pain's managed, do we kind of be a bit selfish and keep her going a bit longer? So we're gonna have a family discussion later anyway, so just to see what happens. So Russ, good morning. How you doing, buddy? So let me have a look here. Let's have a look on Bookmap. Okay, so pretty much volume's quite low over, so it's all right, Jay. You know, dogs get old, don't they? She'll be 12 in April. But it's sad, isn't it? You don't want to see animals suffer, do you? And we've had her since my daughter was young, so we kind of bought her at that age. When my daughter's 17 now, we bought her at that age, so when the time comes, she'd be a little bit older. But it's sad, isn't it? It's not quite the same. It's not going to be quite the same. So there's lots of buyers down here from 20 onwards, right the way down, and some strong ones at 700. So buyers here and buyers down here. So my guess is price is probably going to find its way down. Channel break, new high. There's a lower high there. That wouldn't be a bad short there to take back to that EMA.
Order submitted.
Trouble is, it's 15, 16 ticks now. I'm just going to sit tight here at the minute.
Order cancelled.
It will probably get down to the EMA. Trouble is, getting close to this top. So is this going to pop back up? We're going to channel with a break, 2 pushes to a new high, bearish bar, and a lower high. Now, ordinarily, that would be something to trade back to the EMA. And as we've got buyers down here at 20, my guess is that probably going to work. But it's not it's just not something that jumps out at me. So I'm just going to sit tight here just at the minute. It's a little bit like this, isn't it? That I liked. We had something like that. Well, whether it was more this, probably more like that than a new low. But then we had 2 pushes up. My guess is when it does that, these kind of legs that pushes up and clears any kind of liquidity, a lot of the time they do push down and retest their lows. So that I didn't mind taking. I've been using ChatGPT the last couple of days to help me kind of write kind of like a trading plan. It's surprising how good and how capable these bits of software are. There's a failure there, still leaving it just at the moment. This may be working down, but I'm just going to sit tight. You miss your doggies. Yeah, we got 2 of them. We have Wilson and Molly. It's Molly, the older one, the girl that's ill. She's just, her leg's like this. It's because she's got cancer of the bone in her leg. It's awful, isn't it? Trouble is, they pick up a bit. You want it, no one likes to see animals suffer. So we had a talk with a vet, and he said, she's clearly in pain. She can't move around. It's probably the more humane option. But then, because she's kind of a family pet, you want to kind of hold on as much as you can. That is very tempting. There is orders at 40. Is this thing going to get to 40? Probably not. Probably it's 16 ticks. It's a bit congested here. There's probably going to be, okay, so I'm going to just say there's probably going to be buyers there. Well, it did work in the end. Quite quickly. But there you go. It was rather large. It's a little bit congested here. I liked it. My only concern sometimes is depends how high you get at the top. There's clearly some support there. You can see that. There you go. I've taken a trade today. So if it's rare I take another one, but if I do, it's going to have to be a good one. So there's loads of orders down here. So my guess is now from this is probably going to come down. So if we ended up getting 2 legs back, I may have a go. But my gut feeling is this is probably going to just come down. Now, there's buyers at 15. So we may get a pullback. It's a little bit chopping around, but I think it's quite clear. You can see buyers down here at 15, buyers at 7, buyers at 5, buyers at... So you expect this to get down here. So we may get a couple of legs back. You never know. Make this, in fact, I don't think I reloaded this. Sleep 2 when it was time. Yeah. I don't like doing it. Well, no one likes doing it, do they? But the trouble is you don't want to see your animals suffer. It's weird, isn't it? They'll let human beings suffer, but animals... Mind you, I'd rather let human beings suffer, some of them, but animals, especially dogs, it doesn't matter what you do, they just love you. They're so loyal, aren't they, dogs? We've always had dogs, we had dogs as a kid. Okay, so orders at 15. Yeah, I didn't think much would come of this. I thought it would. Once it comes off that top, you can clearly see it's coming down. They are better than us. Absolutely, they are. People can be cruel, can't they? Dogs aren't. Animals aren't really, are they? It's weird. It's only human beings that got a lot to answer for, really, isn't it? Yeah, once this starts to come down off this, in fact, it was a triple test as well, that was. I was very tempted. You're probably going to be trapping buyers. We came down to that EMA there, so you're probably going to be trapping some buyers there. So the fact that it came down and pushed down quickly, you may have stopped here, certainly probably stopped here. So that's what probably give that a little bit of a quick push. But yeah, I mean, look, when it is ranging like this, if you can get a solid signal of rejection from the top, you know, the potential to hold on. I mean, look at that. If I'd have taken that and just decided there to hold on, look at that, it's 20 points. Very quickly. You can massively alter your P&L, can't you, with a move like that? We don't often see relatively clear range. But there are strong buyers down here, so once these get filled, is it going to turn and push up? Maybe. I'm going to extend that a bit, though. So, as we've got a clear single channel pushback, if we get a pullback here, which we are, I mean, look at that. Just as soon as we've hit that level. Trouble is, I would consider a short here, a second entry short. Ordinarily, when we bounced off the bottom, I wouldn't. But because that's one channel straight down, I'd expect if we got a break to make a new low, and I know there's strong buyers down here. So my guess is price is going to get below here. So if we can get a decent second entry short, I would have a go at that. Just not sure whether we're going to. We'll see. We may get lucky. So you can clearly see there's strong buyers down here. Certainly strong at 700. So I fully expect that to push below. And if you did get any buyers there, I think they're probably going to get wiped out. But hopefully we get a couple of little legs up. Weak legs, but legs nonetheless. No, not a chance. Straight out and straight down. Oh, dear. Wow, straight down, as we thought. Okay, so buyers down here at 90. Now, how far is this going to come down? Let me just have a little zoom out. Excuse me. This thing doesn't want to give up, does it? Lance, random comment. We have all praised you and respected you for having the balls to actually trade live real time, show the reality of trading. And most others, you only want to talk about winning trades. I also want to add respect to you for showing Thomas Wade and Dancer scored, which I'm not part of either. But also not trying to be like every other YouTuber claiming to have created this strategy, training system style, etc. I say that someone who is not at all a fan of Mac or a way of introducing trading to new traders, other YouTubers still mention Mac as the person who showed them the way of trading. Yeah. Thank you for that, mate. Yeah. So I get a lot of mixed comments about Mac. I know a lot of people don't watch him now. I mean? So this thing's tanking, isn't it? What's causing this, I wonder? So there's definitely sellers at 80. Sorry, buyers at 80. Sellers at 90 here. I'm going to pull back. So I think Mac for me, well, actually, strangely enough, not Mac. It was Randy, what's her name, and the other geezer, I forget his name, around Randy. You guys know me, Michael Chin. Strangely enough, I think they did more good for Mac than not, because I spoke to a lot of people who say it was actually because of those two that they kind of found their way from Mac. But I was about to pay about $300, $350 to join their course or whatever it was, because I never knew nothing. But as I mentioned before, I don't buy a toaster before Googling it and seeing if it's any good. So I just happened to, do a little bit of research, and I found it came from Mac. So Mac kind of got me into this. So I'll always be grateful for that. So I don't always agree with some of the things that Mac does, but that's okay. It's okay to not agree with people. It's kind of like politics, isn't it? We don't all have the same politics, but you got to respect everyone's politics, haven't you? But I think as a person, he's a really nice guy. What little he charges people to teach them to trade. But, some people can't teach, some people can. I think personally, this is just my opinion. I think there are ways he could do to change, to make things better. And we've all kind of, we've all talked about this before. Showing winners. I think Mac, the way Mac shows trading sometimes, and not intentional, I might add, that you just don't take losses. Now, he's been trading these markets for 25 years, and scalping for a small amount as a point, I'd probably fair bet to say he probably doesn't take many losses. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a 95, 98% win rate. I wouldn't be shocked. Because scalping's so small, and because of the ability and experience to read these markets. But the trouble is, you, me, and most of us here, we're not 25-year-old veterans. We're new into the business. And we are going to take losses. So I think Mac's probably forgotten what it was like to take losses. And taking losses and not having the understanding and the ability to respect the fact that they happen whether you like it or not. It's part and parcel of it. I think him not mentioning that, my throat's a bit cracky today, makes it a bit extra difficult. Excuse me a sec. Dan said he hasn't had a loss in over a year. It's Jan, how you doing, my friend? Long time no speak to. How you doing? I hope you're well. Yeah, I've heard that as well. I don't know. What do you guys think? I like Dan. I think he's a nice guy. He's only ever helped me. But in a loss in over a year, what does he go for? 6 ticks. I think it's certainly possible. I don't know. It depends how good you are at reading these charts. I do believe price action is super accurate. And I do believe you can get very good at it. But, going back to that main point, I think every other type of book, trader, professional trader, video I've ever seen talks losing, accepting losses is a massive subject you have to cover. You have to explain to people losses are going to happen. You have to drum it into them, because if you could be a great chart reader, but if you blow up every time you take a loss, you're never going to get anywhere. And we've all blown up many times, that's for certain. It happens. But I think with Mac, because we've never had it drummed into us from Mac, you kind of want that when you knew. You want that arm around you saying, it's okay to take losses. Don't worry about it. Push through it. It'll happen. If you got people constantly giving you that, it does get you used to taking losses and make it feel better. But Mac has kind of, I don't think he's done it intentionally, he's kind of always avoided it. You very rarely hear him talk about losses. And when you haven't got that, which is a massive subject, drummed into you that it's going to happen, but it's okay, it's very hard then when it does happen to get really frustrated. And I think sometimes it's more detrimental for your mental health when you don't hear it. This is kind of a big recovery, isn't it? Not traded much, otherwise good. Good on you, mate. Control everyone's heads into 3 simple trades, continuing to remind people to find a reason to skip trades, and would say because trade is invalid. Yeah. Makes a post where he said if you reach 95%, you should stick to clear, cut second entries and failures. I forget the rest. Do you know, I tell you what I've been thinking about a lot lately. Wait for the best setups. But I watched this guy the other day. And he said, don't watch the forums. Don't compare because someone else took a trade. Don't feel that that's what he did. He felt pressure because other people were saying, I took a trade. He felt under pressure to take trades. And I think sometimes, how good do I wait for a trade to be before I take it? Now, that trade there, I took that trade quite quickly. Now, should I have taken that trade? It's tough. So I'm kind of seeing something like this straight away. It's looking like it pushed up and it's going sideways, and then we have a break out the top. So we had 2 legs down, and it looked to me like 2 attempts to push up. My gut feeling is this was going to come below those lows and probably test this as that area. Was that a really good setup? It's hard because we can all interpret it slightly different, and that's the problem. You can clearly see it going a bit side. We kind of push up into it, go across and push up out of it, and then we drop. We didn't drop down as strongly as I expected it to. So I think, do we wait for a trade to go, I absolutely love this, and jump straight in, or do we go, I'm going to have a go at this? You know what I'm saying? Because, people say you've got to be strict, you've got to wait for the best setups. And you do ask yourself the question, is this a really good setup? Because there's so many people I've seen, I took a setup the other day. I thought it was great. Marco took it. Mac marked it. But Dan said he didn't like it. So it's weird, isn't it? We can still interpret things quite different. So what I think is a good setup, some of you guys might not. I'd love to know how many trades a day or a week Vlad takes. What I'll say, though, is if you can get rid of a lot of your losses, maybe needless losses, I certainly think I'm kind of trying to find the right words here. I think it's definitely good to wait for something that jumps in front of you and goes, woo. So 1 or 2 a day. Let me have a look. It always says 1 to 2 a day or 90 minutes max. When you say 90 minutes, you're on about, the time he trades for. Like we constantly say, congestion, the trade is valid. Yeah. Now, that's where I went wrong on Friday. Was it Friday or yesterday? I kicked myself then. There's something else somebody said to me, which is important. I'm going to tell you that in a minute. I can't think what it was now. It was congested. This is another very similar to trade, which I've taken there. 2 legs down, 2 pushes up. It's very similar to the trade I've just taken. 2 legs down, 2 pushes up, and a strong move down. That's what I expected to happen. I'll find it in a bit. Don't think personally the learning curve is not the same for everyone. My issues, I get caught on trends where it keeps running. Yeah. I think one thing we can all agree with is trading is way harder than you think it is. I have moments where I feel on top of the world. I might have had 3 or 4 trades in a week. Everything's going great. I haven't lost a trade. I had a spell where I never lost a trade for over a month, and I felt fantastic. And then we got some news coming up, have we? We got news coming up. Yeah, we have. I just wonder why this is all going black. News now, that's why. I usually have my news app up. Jan's, I haven't got it up for some reason. It's probably too late now anyway, but I always put that up. I don't know why. As I say, I was having a sleep before I came here. I was up a lot of the night with the dog, so I didn't quite get as organised as I should have done. So yeah, it was that pending news. It's come and gone anyway. Okay, so I find I think it's really good to be honest with you and try and pick faults in what, certain things you do. And I still now and again have this impulsive, itchy trigger finger. That's what happened on yesterday, which is why I lost that trade. It's clearly congested. Good point. As you say, if it's congested, it's invalid. I like that saying, it's invalid. It's hard to say. We push up, go sideways, push up out of it. Usually that type of trade works down. Now, it did work, but it didn't push down as strong as I expected. But a guy said to me he suffered with that, and he stopped. He took his hand off the mouse, put his hand next to the mouse, so that just gives you those. That's second entry long there. There are orders at 20 and 25. Very tempting that, but it's a big bar. It is a second entry long. There does seem to be a spike and channel going on there, I think. Touch. I'm just going to sit tight at the minute, though. I'm a little bit behind here. Yeah, Okay, so it didn't work. So remove that there. So it's a big bar. So he said to take your hand off the mouse. I took my hand off the mouse for that one. Yeah, it's very tempting. Just something just didn't feel right, so I let it go. But yeah, I do sometimes get an itchy trigger thing. If I see something quickly, I remember Dan told me how to deal with that, and I think I've forgotten about it. He said, only take a trade when you're prepared for it. That one I wasn't. So if I'm looking, if I say we've got 2 pushes out, if I get a lower high here, that's the trade I'll take. So in other words, only get ready to take a trade when you think one's about to happen, rather than seeing one happen in front of your eyes and you go, oh, there's a so-and-so, and you hit the trigger. Those types of trade can get you in trouble. I know that because they get me in trouble from time to time. That's why I took a loss yesterday. So if you're surprised by a trade that comes out and jumps quickly and you're not expecting it, I think sometimes you're best off leaving those. And I think that's the idea of taking your hand off the mouse. It just puts you in a slightly more, my hands are on the desk here. It puts you in a slightly more relaxed position rather than, it's like anything. You US guys will know that if you're holding a weapon or something, you got your hand on the trigger. It's very easy to just buff and off you go. Probably not the best example, but you know what I mean. So we've got a channel up here with a break, 2 clear legs up to a new high. It's not super clear what's going on at the moment. But there are so many different ideas and bits of advice and points that we sort of pick up day to day from things like YouTube. Another thing I tend to think about is don't overcomplicate things. I've got a habit of doing that sometimes. Sometimes I'll talk myself out of a good trade, and then other times, like I'm in one impulsively, which is another reason why I've decided to just go down to one loss, because I still find it difficult. If I trade after a loss, I can kind of feel myself having that urgency to want to trade, and it's not a good idea. So for me, I think a much better option is to put it down to one loss a day. But yeah, you've got to keep reminding yourself, haven't you? Congestion, stay out of it. I got caught in that one yesterday. You don't request for one, bud. They automatically pay it. If it's your first, has it got to be above a certain amount? I don't think it has. I can't remember. I know some of them have to be like over $1,000. So yeah, they just automatically pay it. Sometimes I'll pay it on the 15th of the month. Other times I'll pay it on like the 2nd or the 3rd. You'll just get a message. So yeah, they do just pay it, but it's random. Sometimes I'll do it at the beginning of the month. Sometimes they'll wait. But yeah, you don't need to do anything. They automatically pay it, bud. It's hard to know exactly what's going on here. There is a second entry short there. I would really want to wait for the lower high there because I don't know whether we're getting 2 legs up here. It is a second entry short, no argument. But this market's just waving around a little bit and confusing me a bit. It hasn't triggered anyway, I don't think. No, it hasn't as yet. So looking on Bookmap, we've got a mixed bag here. There are sellers up here and buyers down here. If I had to guess, I'd say there's more buyers around here, but there are large amounts here, so it could go up or down. So if we get a lower high, might not be terrible, but I don't really know at the moment. In fact, I'm just sitting tight. I won't be surprised if this thing pushes up above that bar. Yes, if you'd have taken that. It's just a bit unclear, really. that could be a 2-tier channel, but I'm not sure. A lot of times I'll put these channels and I'm not really sure how I feel about them. Got my hand on the mouse again. Sometimes you just, you don't really see things and all of a sudden something might just appear to you. And that's when you jump in. So I think it's better to have a plan. So if we're in a downtrend, if it comes back up here, then I'll go short rather than, oh, look at that. And then boom, I'm in and sometimes out and lost pretty quickly. That's a thought. That 80%, where's my light? I haven't got my light on. That 80% off and 40. They'll still have the $40 because they usually give you a couple of days, but it's not 80% off. I just haven't changed it, to be fair. I was kind of hoping they'd extend it because you couldn't grab one for the first 2 days because they had that big outage. I'm surprised they haven't extended it. They may do. We have, it's, oh, okay, they have. That must be it. Oh, so tell a lie. They have done. It's 80% off. Yeah, I'm thinking that usually when something goes wrong, but 80% off, I'm 90% sure that will have the same deal. Let me have a look in my emails. That's usually me junk. Ah, here we go. Okay. Okay. Black Friday sale, 80% off. Discounted lifetime fees to how much? Oh yeah, $40. So 80% off, and 50% reoccurring if you go into the second month. $40 lifetime fees. Excellent. They have resets at $70. Don't quite see the point in that. Why would you pay $70 for a reset when you can pay 80% off $35 and just have a new? Yeah, so I'll just change the date on that, and that goes up to when? 2nd of December. Okay, excellent. So, that's good news. So, how do I change that? Did I say the 3rd or 4th? 2nd. We're here. So, let's change that colour. Something a bit more funky. Bear with me 1 second. No, not one. Sorry about that. That's the one. Super. Done. Sorry about that. I passed the 25k eval in 2 days. Was giveaway free most of the time. Take me more time. Did you pass the tape? No, I didn't. I lost it. Because I traded it stupidly. Fortunately, it was a free one. Not that that's an excuse. It's just, I wasn't in the right frame of mind yesterday. I was annoying myself for taking the trade. What I probably should have done was taken the day off. It's just, I had all this stuff with the dog at the moment. We just not long come back from the vets. So I wasn't probably thinking clearly. First golden rule is it don't trade in congestion. So yeah, basically the Apex offer has been extended until the 2nd. Did I write the 2nd about it? Yes, I did. There we go. That's a good offer, that is. I'd love them to do something like that and just keep it on. Just go, that's it. $40 from now on. They clean up. Yeah, I don't like doing evals. I'm not a guru really with them. I blow way more than I win. I think I've got a 3-to-1 hit. So for every 3 I take, I usually pass one of them. But for some reason, I just don't do well with the take profit trader ones. I think December will be slower. It's hard to say, mate. I don't really. I mean, this will be the fifth year I've been trading, 5th Christmas. There's nothing I can pick out of my brain that says, oh, it was slower that year or this year. It's quite random. You know, even some days, a lot of people say FOMC days can be a bit weird. Sometimes they can, but other times they can be perfectly normal. So it's hard to say. You know, going back a couple of years ago, I had a great December, especially the latter part, you know, after the Christmas break. So it's just hard to say, bud. You never quite know. No, slower fat. It doesn't really make a difference. Slower days are just more boring, aren't they? Some days when it's just moving slowly, it's a little bit slower, and just a bit more boring, isn't it? It's hard to know exactly what's going on here. We've had a move up. Are we going 2 attempts to go lower? Is this thing going to push up or not? So looking at Bookmap, this gives a little bit of guidance. We have got some buyers around here, and then some sellers up here. So this may be. Let's get rid of that because I don't think it's irrelevant anyway. This may be a move up and an attempt to go lower. So we have had a little breakout and a new high. This may be 2 attempts to go lower. What I can see on Bookmap, you can see buyers around about here. So my guess is this will drop out of here, hit these buyers, and probably move up. In fact, these buyers are a bit lower. Around about 700. They seem to be dropping. Touch above 700. Let's call that. It's just not super clear at the moment. So we have you got to make 8,800. Oh, so you've already made about 11 grand, haven't you? I find them really hard. I do, to be honest with you. I'm crap at those because I trade aggressively with the value. That's why I hate the damn things, because I trade aggressively. Cheap is not always better, is it? And the trouble is when they are cheap. One thing I love about taking evaluations, though, is when the PA price is cheap. So lifetime license at the moment, $40. That's great. That is about £30 English. I love paying that. What I hate paying is the $140. So those orders are disappearing now. So my guess is this is probably going to push up. but it's just a little bit congested here. So I'm just sitting tight here. Someone mentioned that earlier about Vlad. I need to keep that in my head. I should know that by now. In fact, I do, but sometimes you try and read it rather than just openly saying to yourself, it's a bit congested. Maybe I should stay out. But now slow down while I pass. Good on you. It's absolutely the right way to do it. You know, I don't do it, and most of us don't do it. But it's good to trade your evaluations like you do your PA accounts, because it does set in motion good habits. And evaluations can get you into bad habits, you know, because they're cheap. And when they're cheap, you pay less, you take less care with them, and you just kind of want to get to that PA and start making some money. But they do sometimes set the groundstone for really bad habits. And I've had problems with that myself. It's a little bit choppy here. We've pushed down into this, so we could push out the bottom. Now, I can't see a huge amount of buyers down here, but I can see a bunch of sellers up here. So with what I'm seeing here, my gut feeling, this is more likely to push up. Certainly to this area here. You can see there's strong buyers on Bookmap there. Sorry, sellers. And some at 25. We know Bookmap adds... Bookmap. These resting orders here act like magnets. They're quite strong. So my guess is price is going to work. But you don't know whether it's going to come down and, you know, you jump in here thinking it's going to push up. You don't know whether it's going to trigger you, come down, hit this level and then take off. I think it's fair to say, based on what I can see here, price is more likely going to push up. But you don't know whether it's going to push up from here or come down here and bounce first. So the best thing to do, I think, with this is, if we look like we got one leg down, if you get a second leg down, you may say triple test and then take that long, but sometimes it just pushes straight up. And have a look. I used to do what you do also, try to read through everything, because Mac marks all kinds of trades in congestion. Yeah, he does. Same clear context of whatever. But with conjecture, when the trade loses, he ignores it, yeah. I think as traders, you kind of think you have to know what's going on all the time. And when it is congested, you still try and make something from it. You know what I mean? It's like getting a puzzle in pieces, isn't it? You know, if you've got a Rubik's Cube, that's okay to have a go at. But if someone breaks it up into little squares and tosses it on the ground, you've just got to go, you know what I mean? Probably not the best analogy, but I've had better. But yeah, I mean, we're still kind of looking at this and thinking, oh, triple test, is this going to come down? But the whole thing's a bit of a range, but this section here is congested. And so many times when it's like this, it's got a tendency to trigger you and trap you. You can see we get green bar, red bar, green bar, red bar. And if you get green, some people buy thinking it's pushing up, triggers you, comes down. You get red, you think it's coming down, so you sell it, triggers you, pushes up, and it kind of does that kind of barcoding kind of looking thing, and it's very trappy. So I think the first answer is, I didn't think that was a terrible trade, to be honest with you. I certainly expect it to get to the bottom. It's just a fair-sized bar, isn't it? But I'm just staying away here. Now, seeing all these orders up here, if we got a good strong bounce off the bottom, then I would probably have a go at that then, because I would say we're coming into this and we've made one attempt to go lower, second attempt to go lower, then I expect that second move up. But there's so many little things that our kind of brains have got to process when we're looking at the charts and looking for where to get in. And just with the nature of scalping, quite quick moving charts, you don't have a lot of time to think, and it's very, you know, the less time you have to think and plan something, the more mistakes you're going to make. So we've got a leg down here with a break and a low. So if you can get a drop below here and a good solid bull bar, I probably wouldn't mind having a go at that. I've got a few orders down here around about the 700, certainly here. So if it dropped out the bottom and finished bullish, then that may interest me. 20k, I wish they had 10k. Yeah, they have 25k. 25k is okay. I think, Karina, you do a few 25ks, don't you? So what I can see here, if we can get a good strong bull barrier, technically a second entry long.
Order
Let me
submitted.
just see how far this gets down. There is some orders down here. See if this thing pushes up. May consider that a breakout. Let's see how big it is first. Orders at 700. So it's picking up these orders now. Now, what I want to see now is strong buying. Let me pull this out of the way before it drops and eats me.
Order cancelled.
Just because these orders are up here doesn't necessarily mean prices will push up. So leg down, big strong bar, 22 ticks. Massive, isn't it? I think higher low would probably be the better option here. But it is 2 legs down. We're clearly sideways and it is a breakout. I don't think it's the worst trade in the world, but my trading lately is a bit iffy at best. So I'm going to wait for a higher low. So I mean, it's looked really strong. Then all of a sudden we crossed straight over and down we shot. What I did is I paid for it for a month, just to kind of give it a go. I think it was $49 and I got half price data. But to be honest with you, this is free. I'm just watching it on YouTube and this gives me everything I need. So this is what I wanted as well, this kind of difference between buyers and sellers. And if you have this, it costs you $99 a month. And then you've got the $34 data. If I needed to find out tick by tick exactly what was going on, then yeah, all I need to know, I can see their orders up there. I don't need to know right in the moment. So I'm just going to continue just to watch the free version. So it is working off the bottom. But what you don't want to see is that big pullback, especially when you're in for 20 odd ticks. What level data did you go for? Yeah, level 2. Now you can have cheaper level data through Rhythmic. It's $10, but you can only have one sign into Rhythmic. If you have one connection. If you have 2 connections, it's another $30. So it's $40 then. You're best off paying $34 for Bookmap's own. But if you trade with Tradeovate, you can use your $10 Rhythmic connection and use that for your Bookmap. But this is all I need, really. All I'm interested in at the moment is the sellers up here. So this gives me everything I need, really. This is looking like it's going up. There is a failure there. It's just whipping a little bit here, and it's 22 ticks that. Is it going to break up? More than likely. You can see 12, 15. There's sellers in this area and higher. Yeah, I was chatting to Marco last night as well. He's trying to focus more on this. You can probably spend too much time, I think, focusing on the Discord. Now, as a newer trader, absolutely, but I have had some experience now, so sometimes I think it's better just to focus on what you're doing, uh, as opposed to making some decisions on, you know what I mean, based on what others are doing. So, glad I left that. It probably would have worked for a bit, but it was 20 ticks. No, so that wouldn't have worked for me. And that was, I think, 20 ticks, tick above, tick below. It'd have been a fair old loss, that. So I just don't like what's going on here. It's these bars, the ATR's up over 5 now. What I keep trying to keep in mind as well, I'm up a nice trade for the day. So I'm up about $1,400 on my account. So it's a good place to be, especially when it's like this. I think really to get in again, you've got to wait for something that literally jumps out and waves in front of you. My mouth's really dry today. My throat is. So I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break and make a cup of tea. Otherwise, I'm going to be coughing and croaking all afternoon. You can look here, can't you? It is very choppy at the moment. So probably a good idea to take a break now. So I'm just going to pop on my 5-minute break thingamajiggy. Uh, uh, I mean, it is going kind of towards these orders. That's the problem. Knowing where it's likely to go is one thing. Knowing what route it's going to take is another. It could have took a direct route straight up. In this case, it went up, came back, went up, came back, went up, came back. And every time it comes back, it kind of, bear me one second. Every time it comes back, it tends to overlap things. So if you'd have taken a trade there, kind of stitch you up. So I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break. I'll be about 3 to 5 minutes and I'll be back. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, I got kidnapped. Yeah, sorry, I was just keeping an eye on the dog, talking about the dog. I didn't get kidnapped. You're okay. So, massive amount of orders up here, 30. So you can see them there. So is price going to hit that? Sometimes it won't. You can see it's been up here before and hasn't quite got to it. So let's get rid of that. Let's try again. Get yourself a freshly baked mince pie. My daughter's been baking. So I'll go with this. You look to make a certain amount per week rather than per day. Personally, I don't have a monetary target at all. And I'll tell you the reason why. Is the best way to trade is to sit and wait for a trade to come to you. If you like it, take it. If you start setting yourself monetary goals, the tendency is to try and squeeze things to hit that target. And once you start bending the rules to try and hit your targets, that's when things can go wrong. So I wouldn't have one. Having said that, I think it's okay to say if you hit $200 a day, you'll finish. So if you got a target that if you hit, you set yourself something that's at, say, if I hit $150 per account, I'm going to walk away. But I wouldn't give myself a monetary target, because the tendency then is to try and squeeze a poor trade just to hit that target. It's not kind of the same as, a lot of businesses and stuff. If you're a salesman, try a bit harder and try and bend a client to. Trading doesn't kind of work that way. So yeah, I tend to. So you can see these orders here. It'd be interesting to see what happens when price hits them. Does it drop sharply? So can you see we've hit that target? Can you see all these aggressive buyers here, top right of this book map? So buyers are trying to push this higher. So, and they have. You can see they kind of doubled and we've pushed above now. So it'd be interesting to see now where the sellers come in now. We've hit this level a bunch of times. So we got to see if this area holds. You can see it's been up here a bunch of times. So it's a case of seeing whether this level holds now, or does this come back into this kind of range. There are more sellers up here around about, I can't tell exactly. It's around about 37, 38, I'd say, which is where we are now, around about there. Trouble is sometimes aggressive buyers, you see these aggressive buyers are climbing again, trying to push it through and absorb them sellers. See there, 12.5 million, 7 million. Buyers are trying to force this thing higher. You can see the orders at 40. There are more at 40. So my guess is it's probably going to come back and test this area at some point before it goes much higher. So that 40 was hit. There are some more a little bit higher. See, someone the other day mentioned to me about this. 1, 2, 3. Triple test short there. Someone said, I don't know, it was on a forum or something. Why didn't it work? So the way I look at triple tests is if we push up, I'm looking for it to test here 3 times 1, 2, 3 to move up. So I always tend to take way more triple test shorts. So if we have a push down here and we make 3 attempts to continue on down, whereas that's in completely opposite, you know, I'd expect that a triple test that way to push up, not a triple test there to push down. Not that sometimes it doesn't happen, but that's at the moment for me the momentum is up, so it'd be the triple test to go long I'd be looking for. So I'd expect this to come and test this top pretty soon. Okay, as we suspected, come back and test this area, so let's see what kind of reaction we get here. I don't think there's a larger channel there. No. So do we push back in or do we bounce? So you can see where we've had previous, you can clearly see that resistance there, can't you? Now, is this going to become support? Interested to see what happens here. Yeah, best way to look at trade, in my opinion, is to kind of forget monetary targets. It's so hard not to sometimes, you know. But I think the best thing to do is take one day at a time, sit in front of the chart, have a bit of a plan what you're going to do. I'm going to wait. I'm going to take 1 trade or 2 trades, or if I take a loss, have a bit of a plan. Give yourself some kind of a structured thing for the day. I don't always do it myself. I didn't today. I got a bit caught out. But usually I like to get in front of the chart. Well, I tend to look at the charts casually from 1:30 UK time, which is about an hour before the general market opens. And I kind of get myself focused a little bit, think about what I'm doing, just kind of run through those things in my head. Don't trade in congestion. Something I've forgotten yesterday. And just quickly go over those rules for a valid trade. But, you know, trading's hard. It takes a long time to get good at it. you've obviously got the different elements. You've got the skill side of it, and you've got the psychological side of it, which can completely upset the momentum. So channel, maybe a small break there. I'm not thinking of doing anything at the moment. Is this going to come down here? It might do, or it might. I don't know. Now it's through this, but a lot of the times price will come down and clear out previous liquidity. And that sometimes give it that momentum. With Bookmap, the 1 minute, the orders are there. Yeah, I mean, it's like anything. If I open an order now, the order will appear there now. It's obviously a sim. It's a sim funded, but the order will appear. And if I change my mind and jack it in, it disappears. So, yeah. See, I don't use Bookmap religiously like a lot of traders do. If I'm looking, so at the moment, it looks like we've got a channel down here with the break. Now, ordinarily, after a channel with a break, I'd be looking for a second entry or 2 attempts to push higher that fail and come down and test the lows. So this is where I'd be looking for Bookmap. So I can see on Bookmap now, I can see a big chunk of sell orders at 732, which is there. Now, if I get a short trade here, a second entry short there, because I can see there's a big bunch of orders right where my stop is, I would avoid that. Unless it pushes up and hits them sellers, and then I can see then aggressive sellers come in, then that's the type of short I would take. And if you think about it, getting up here is around about 50% that move, which is kind of a nice thing, which is probably why traders have put stops there. In fact, maybe just a tiny touch higher. But you can see traders thinking we've moved down. If we can come up and test the top again, the underside of this top, which is kind of where it is, then they would have a go short. So I use it to give me the confidence of an entry and also where I'd probably stay out. Because if you've got a nice bearish bar that didn't hit these orders, there's a good chance it may trigger you and hit them. And we've all had that happen to us. It triggers us, takes us out by 1 tick, picks up a load of sell orders and continues down. It may not get up here if we get enough aggressive sellers just selling here, but hopefully we may. So there's probably a small break there, but it's not massively convincing, so I'm not really too concerned so much about that. If we get 2 nice legs up, but if we get a short here, I would be very wary about that because of these orders. There are no guarantees. If you get enough sellers jumping in here, it may still go down. It's a good way to look at it, yeah. Sometimes I think it can help you stay in profit a bit longer. If we pick up a load of sell orders, there's very little in the way of sell orders up here now, and you've got buyers down here, here. It can help you stay in a trade a bit longer and try and pick up a bit more profit. Give you that confidence, because when you're only looking at bars, you don't know if it's going to push down to the lows and turn, or you don't know it's going to keep pushing down. So it can potentially, give you the possibility. See, if we had a massive load of sell orders here, and then all of a sudden the sellers dried up and you can see buyers here, buyers here, buyers here, that can give you the confidence to try and make something a little bit more profit. So that's kind of how I look at Bookmap. I've had it on and off for maybe a year or so. I'll not touch it for a couple of months and then I'll look at it for a few weeks. And then I just started randomly watching it, and I just kind of noticed where we had these big orders. There's a good chance price gets to them. But not always, but it's definitely a good idea to see where there are other traders. And that's the beauty. I can see there are people up there trying to sell this, so, it does help you make better decisions. But from my point of view, trading Pats, I don't need up-to-date stuff. This probably is 3 or 4 seconds late by the time I see it, but that doesn't really make a difference. I can clearly see where those are, and 3 or 4 seconds on this doesn't make a difference, but it can save you a chunk of money, to be honest with you. It's not as clear, and you can't adjust things, but if you get used to using this and watching this, it's kind of how you like it. And when I got the full version, I tried to adjust it to look like this anyway. So I think you might as well just save your money and just just watch the free version on YouTube. Just make sure it is the live version though, because I've done it before, watched them, one from a couple of days ago, and I'm wondering why something isn't working. So yeah, I'm just looking where they're sellers. See, if you look there, it looks to me there are about 548 contracts there. So someone or some people, who they are, I don't know, have got big sell orders. And these bigger sell orders here act like magnets. You can see it went up to it here, and then eventually it pushed through, and it went up to the top, and eventually it rejected. So you can see price moving towards it. They act like magnets. It's kind of very much like an EMA. So if I look to short here, and I'm putting my stop loss there, and I'm in a trade here, there's a good chance I'm going to get triggered, pushed up, stopped out, and then the damn thing goes in the right direction anyway. So it just gives you that idea. If you're getting into a short here, you see these orders have just disappeared. So who's ever had those orders there has either changed their mind or they purposely put it there to try and push price up. But the orders have disappeared. So, but you can see how it went to it. It kind of doesn't know what to do now. I still have my moments, but I've made more money this year than I've lost. I think I've paid about 13,000 in fees, and I'm up 50. Oh, there's 2,000 to go on that. I'm up 54, so 16, 26, 36, 46. I'm up about 38,000, something like that. 38,000 for the year. Last year, I think I made 22,000. Year before 8. Well, the 8, I obviously paid more than that in fees, but I've had a better year this year, although I still had my hiccups. I had January, February, March, April, May. I had payouts in those 5 months. And that got me to about 32,000 in 5 months. Now, bearing in mind, I've only been trading around about 8 or 9 accounts. And then what I've found is when I take a big payment, so in October, I had 8 and 8, 16, 17, 18. I had about $17,500 in October. And what happens sometimes when you get these big payments, you relax and get a little bit too confident and risky, and you can lose some trades. And I ended up losing a few accounts. So I had to top them back up. Now I've got enough payments now to start seeing sense and going, okay, there's no point in getting a Traderify account, hitting it $3,000, taking $2,000 and expecting it to build back up. So when you get your first bunch of payments, my suggestion is you take them because it's a nice feeling and it's nice to get some rewards. But ultimately, at some point, you've got to grow those accounts to a level where you can aim to take money every month rather than just having that rinse and repeat. You get one, get paid below it, get one, get paid below it, which is pretty much how a lot of traders will trade that way, and I'm no different. But this has been the most positive year for me. But sometimes when something goes well, it doesn't seem long that there's something around the corner waiting to kick you in the bollocks. So you've always got to be on your game. But as you do more and more, you will get better and better. It's a learning curve. You learn the pitfalls. You realise what you've done wrong, and you try and slowly change. But this is a long process, way longer than I thought. When does Apex make you go live? Is it after? I'm not sure, to be honest with you. It's never happened to me. I think about 4 or 5 payments is the most I've had. So I'm not. How to stop revenge trade. It's hard. The best thing I can tell you is if you use Ninja Trader, buy Guardian Angel Trader. I can't show you it as much, but I can show you. Yeah, it won't let me get into my accounts at the moment, but I have this set. I can't change anything now. I've got this set one loss. So if I take a loss now, it won't let me trade till tomorrow. So that is the best thing you can do. It's almost like putting a bloody great big bolt on your fridge the day before you start your diet. So you can set, there are lots of things you can set certain parameters, whereas if you're maybe allowing yourself 2 or 3 trades, you can set a timeout. So you could maybe select 3 or 5 minutes to not let you trade for 3 to 5 minutes after a loss. You can even do the same after a win. Sometimes, when traders get a win, they get a bit overconfident. I tend to go the other way, fortunately. I rarely take another trade, but some traders get greedy and want to kind of a bit more. I'm not saying don't ever take more than one, but if you can quite happily take them and it doesn't matter whether you win or lose, then, that's the best way to do. But but it's a great bit of software and it can really protect you from those pitfalls. You can set monetary losses. You can set weekly loss, monthly loss, all sorts. And it literally will not let you get back into the software. You can't even delete the software. But the revenge trading does get less and less over time. The more you're exposed to these emotions, it generally gets less. But, we still have our moments. But with time, as things get better and better and you start to make regular money, and when you're following the rules, you're rewarded for it. Eventually, you'll get to a place where you'll just not really do it, I'm guessing. So I don't follow patterns, but this to me is a shoulder, head, and a shoulder. My guess is probably going to come down. So looking on Bookmap, we've got ours at 40, which is about there. Is price going to get back up there? Maybe, but there's sellers saying if price gets back up here to this level, I'll short it. There are some at 27, which is about here. There are buyers down here, but not a huge amount at the moment. There are sellers at 30. You can see they're starting to get the darker red these are, the more contracts they are there. So you can see that bunch at 30, which is just now. I would say if it comes back and tests this line, probably good chance. There's some stronger. There's a massive amount of sellers. Keep disappearing. Yeah, we just had a great big thick red band pop up there. But you can see these ones at 30. And there are some a little bit further up here. So that would kind of indicate channel break, new low, one attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher, followed by a possible failure. But then if you look here, see the red aggressive sellers, 3 odd million, there's 2 odd million. So sellers have lightly pushed that down. But you can see there's another 1,242 at around about 32 3/4, which is about there. See that big chunk? It's a massive amount of sell orders there, 1,242 contracts. So that would kind of be 2 legs up. Mind you, we had some of those a bit ago and they disappeared, so you don't know whether people are doing that on purpose. But my guess is if you're trying to pull price up here to sell it, why would you pull it up and then not sell? Who knows? But at the moment, we got more aggressive sellers just selling this and pushing it down at the moment. But you've got to keep an eye on them. 1,240 contracts, a smidgen over 32.5. I've got it at 32 3/4. So maybe we have 2 legs up, something like that. So if we had a nice short here, a nice bearish bar here, I may have a go at a lower high there, as long as those orders do get absorbed. Or they do get turned. See, they've disappeared now. they've all gone. So you can see that big thick lump there. They've just been yanked. So maybe they're seeing price going down now and they've pulled their order. Based on buyers and sellers, I think it would be more predictable. Must be some computer that does things randomly. The thing is, being a retail trader, there's always gaps in your knowledge. There is something called spoofing that goes on. That people put orders at certain prices to, draw prices up for whatever reason, and then they yank their orders. It does happen that. You're not playing the wider channel up. I put one on a while ago, but got rid of it. It missed that bit, which I kind of didn't like. It actually doesn't look too bad now, does it? Yeah, it doesn't look terrible, does it? Let's see if anybody else is that. Thomas Wade has got that. So yeah, maybe it is. I didn't say that. I am more looking at the range because price is kind of, but yeah, you might be right actually. Drawn as a spike in channel. Trouble is, well, it's funny you should say that. I'm guessing it would. Yeah, trouble is, with it, touch. It's only really 2 touches. It's not touching there. It's touching twice there, but I mean, you could push it through that, couldn't you? I don't like doing that really, but I'd like it to touch there. So maybe, when you said a spike, are you doing it more like that, are you? Yes, yeah, I get what you're saying. What I will say is we've got a touch. We've got 2 touches there, plus 2 touches there. So I would probably go with that personally. Let's have a look what others are thinking. So Thomas Wade, pretty much the same as I've got it. Let's have a look. Okay, max chart. Yeah, he's got it the same as I think, isn't it? Or is it? Yes, he's got it the same as me. He's missing that one there, but he's got that pretty much like that. So with him and Thomas Wade, I will probably do that. To be fair, you all got one on me. I didn't even see it. I marked it earlier, but straight away dismissed it. So let's have a look at this. So we're going to get a channel down there with a break. Look here. So the trouble with bookmap sometimes, you let me bookmap now, we're getting orders above and below. Now, for getting that strong bunch there, there's strong orders below and quite strong orders above. So if you look what's happening, we're getting a bit of a range here. So sellers up here, buyers down here, which is creating that kind of tunnel. There are more sellers above than buyers below, that's for certain. So my guess is it's probably going to be up. So it's interesting to see how it's going to react to this line. So there are buyers at 20. So there are buyers wanting to buy here, probably below those areas of liquidity. That is a strong move off there. So I wouldn't expect price, but that would make sense to me. Comes down, so we got like a leg down, 2 legs up and a second leg down. To buy this market up here would make sense. Area of development, yeah, exactly. In other words, can't make his bloody mind up. I'll have a better word, but there are sellers here. Sorry, buyers here, my mistake. And there are sellers further up. So traders are probably thinking, I'll buy here and ride it up towards the top or somewhere along those lines, maybe to the top of this section here, which is the 30s, which you can see there. So, yeah, if I was going to buy here, I wouldn't buy there. I would want it to come below there to knock out that previous area of liquidity. So that for me, 20 would be the area for me. If I was going to trade that way, so this bar here, if that finished bullish, I would avoid that. My guess is it would trigger and come down. Or just come down and not trigger. I like it when it triggers, though, because it gives me that confirmation that it's looking trappy. But then, because it's along the bottom here, look at the aggressive buyers. You can see the aggressive buyers there just buying. So that's what I mean. It's okay seeing these resting orders at these areas, but you don't know whether buyers are going to go like this, buy, and that rides up. Now, buying off here isn't the worst idea in the world, is it? So it depends how people think. What you can't see in this is the buyers that just decide to buy in aggressively and just hit that buy market. So you can see orders here at 30. Quite a chunk of orders there at 30. So is it? No, I don't think this is going to get up much further. There are sellers here, so this may continue a bit further sideways. It's hard to tell. But there's less buyers here. A lot of those strong buyers at 20 kind of starting to disappear, aren't they? Now they're popping back up there again. They're starting to thicken up. So as this thing starts to come back, maybe they'll start dropping their orders in again. It's not an exact science, is it? It's kind of getting a feel for it. And having experience kind of taking you the rest of the way. But there are a chunk of sell orders here, so our seller's going to try and push this down below all this liquidity. So what I will say is this: if this is a channel, we're at the top of it there. We've had two legs up. We didn't quite get to the top there, did we? So you never quite know when price is going to kind of do this. And have a break down to previous, to an area that may have been previous support. So you can see, it's easy to see on this side. You can see we've got buyers down here. So it's hard to say, really. I wouldn't expect that one to not get stopped out. For me, it's an inside bar and it's a little bit weak. And you can tell there's going to be liquidity there. See these sellers starting to thicken up now at 20. They're starting to go. It went clear when it pushed up. In other words, they yanked their orders, but you can see them adding to it and it's getting darker and darker. So as price breaks all this liquidity, there are buyers looking to buy there. You can see it on. It's easy to see on this chart, can't you? We've had 3 bounces off it, so I think there's a good chance this is going to have a quick pop below, and then they are as done. So it hasn't hit the 20 yet. Now it has. So let's see now if buyers ride this up. My guess, I'm just not sure at the moment, to be honest with you. I think this is VWAP as well, so it's at a close bounce, close to VWAP, so this may go up. I don't like the bar anyway. There is going to be liquidity there. You can see there's a little double bounce that. What is that? 16.5. There is some at 17.5, so I think this may come down a bit lower. We may have a leg and a leg. This is all kind of speculation to a degree. just nowhere for us to buy down there from a Pat's point of view. But we have had those 2 legs down. So leg and a leg, touched it and bounced. Not much in the way of buyers down here now, so that may well push up. Trouble is, I think now that would look better. So with the top. So who was it mentioned there? Someone mentioned about that spike in channel. At the time, it didn't look right, but you see this is coming out. I'm not sure that this isn't going to come down a bit more before it pushes up. That's if it does push up. We've got a touch there, touch there. Tops are looking really nice. Look how that midline's working. You can clearly see bouncing up against it. It's using it to bounce off there. It's using it as support there. Same again there. So I like that setup there. I do that channel there. We've got to touch that. Yeah, that hasn't come down, but it's had an attempt to, but then pushed up. So just looking, we haven't bounced off this yes, and this is still, this is still going a bit sideways. So I'm not convinced this won't come down a little bit more. So let's just yank these out of the way. At the moment, we've not got much in the way of buyers here, but we may do if we get something that looks weak. So sellers at 30, you can see that. So if we are ranging, this may come down a bit more. And obviously that chunk up there at 40, which is right at the highs. So my guess is we've got a leg down and a bit of sideways. That's probably where it may end up going. But at the moment, being it's not quite got down to the lows, it's hard to know whether this thing may come down again. So now it's pushed up and bounced off this area. Is it going to do the same? Or is it just going to launch out the top? We're getting aggressive buyers coming in now. So, but we've also got sellers here as well. So the sellers will either win and it'll come down, or buyers trending, trading range. Yeah, this bit's range at the moment. So it depends who wins at this level. You can see where there was sellers there and we had aggressive buyers. So yeah, you wouldn't trade here anyway, really. Even if you were well, you could short it as a range, but because the momentum is up, you don't know whether it's going to trigger you and push up. The only way I would get back into this trading it long is down here somewhere, because you just never know what's going to happen here. See, I wouldn't have expected that to go up like that. Could be something like that there, see. Move down, 2 pushes up. If this is ranging, we may get a pop-up and a breakout, but I wouldn't go short in this at the moment, because for me, the general overview that it's going up. But it's not quite as straightforward as that sometimes, is it? So the good thing about me trading now is I'm up about 12, 13, 1400 for the day. So I've kind of done my day, so I can relax now and wait for, if I take another trade, it'll be because there's something amazing there and not. I'm quite happy not to trade now. I've kind of done my stuff for the day. That's the beauty about having Guardian Angel Trader. I was down about $275 per account yesterday. If I'd have decided a revenge trade or trade again, there's a good chance you've ended up losing that. I'm coming back today, more or less forgetting about yesterday. When you actually lose it, those emotions are ripe and rife. and they're hard to deny sometimes. You come back the following day, disappeared. Even later in the evening, they've disappeared. That's the beauty about that's the beauty about having Guardian Angel traders. So you can lock you out, and you come back fresh the following day. You know, I was down 275 yesterday. If I'd have blown those accounts, I'd have been kicking myself. I've come back this morning, nice and fresh. I'm only 275 down. I've won 135, so another trade, I'll be back in profit. So, you know, once you get past these, you know, these moments of revenge trading, things get better. I've had more than my fair share of struggles with them. So even for me, I like to have this Guardian Angel trader. You know, my honest opinion is if I take a loss, I think I'm always better off to not trade again or go on to a sim or an evaluation, or even if you keep one of your accounts separate. And if you take a loss, then maybe just move on to the one account. So at least it gives you that, you know, the rest of that day. How many trays did you do to get? I'm on about overall my accounts, bud. I'm on about all of them. There's all my accounts. So I'm trading them all in one go. So yeah, so that's what it is basically. I got 11 accounts on the go there. So that's the beauty of having multiple accounts. All you do is focus on this one, just this one account for 3 points or whatever, and it copies it in the background. So you make that extra profit. But the beauty about having it in multiples of, you know, broken down into increments of 1/10, you only kind of concentrate on just trading the one account, and the rest just kind of come along for the ride. So it did come up here where we expected it to. I didn't think it would do it like that. Not after this. I thought we'd at least have an attempt before it pushed up, but it just carried on going. I wouldn't have expected that to do that. That's kind of out of character. So there are buy orders at 30. So with this push up, there's traders thinking if it comes back here, I'll have a buy of that. After such a move up, though, I would expect more of a correction. So there is a second entry long here, but I'm not taking that. Was the last time I blew up? I blew up some accounts the other day. I blew up one yesterday. I had a take profit trader account that I was doing yesterday. Traded it stupidly. You know, I still get it. I still have my moments, but they're less. They become less and less as you get better, which is why I decided to go from 2 losses to 1. So, you know, it's a constant struggle. But the best thing to do is put, you know, I read something about professional traders. Professional traders put things in place to stop blowing up accounts themselves. You know, professional traders who have got money in brokerages, you can set a loss limit, a daily loss limit at brokers. You know, and I was reading a bit of a book, and this guy said, don't think professional traders don't have their moments. Everyone has a limit where they crack. They just put things into place to mitigate that. That's why a lot of these brokers have, you know, you can set daily loss limits or whatever. Which prop firm do I prefer? I prefer Apex purely and simply because they're cheaper and I like the system. Take Profit Trader, I think, are good. Trouble is, it takes 5 days to pass. It works out, isn't it, about $105? And if you fail it, it's an $105 eval loss. It's expensive. So that's personally why I like, I kind of like Traderify and Lucid, but you can spend a lot of money on those, and sometimes I don't know whether it's the right way to go. I think you're better getting them as cheap as you can and just trying to ride them and make as much profit as you can. I mean, if you get five 150 Lucid accounts, that can cost you about $3,000, $3,500. It's a lot of money to buy 5 accounts. Now, if you're a seasoned trader, then it may be worthwhile. But if you're a seasoned trader, why don't you just get Apex accounts for $35 each? Pay $40 and do it that way. So I do like the straight to funded, but I think the amount of extra money you pay sometimes is not worth it. I had 5 Traderify accounts. What's going on here? 247. For some reason, that account's grayed out. 247. Why? That's unusual. What's this? 247. So, why is this grayed out? Show me I can't take another trade. Why is that? I haven't had a loss, I've had a win. Now that is weird. I'm going to have to go back into my settings later. I'm not quite sure why it's showing I can't take another trade. I can't even get into it till tomorrow to figure out what I've done in the settings. I've only taken 1 trade today. Right. It's not the end of the world. I'm up a good amount anyway. I just don't know kind of why. The trouble is, you've only got to alter something slightly in the settings. I can't even get in to have a look at it. It won't let me in because I've locked myself out until tomorrow. So I'm going to have a look between 12:30 and 1:30, 12:30 and 1:30 to find out why. Do you know what? I'm not sure will I put my trading hours, because I have opened another trade. I've opened another order. Since then, you're locked out for some reason. Yeah. Strange. I don't know what I've done. Because I have certain set times. So whether I've... do I have it set? Do you know what I think I've done? I have it set, I think, till 6 o'clock UK time. It's saying 16:30, which 24-hour clock is 4:30. So I'm wondering whether I put 1600 in. Go to bed. Oh, I'm quite happy not taking the trade. I can't anyway. I just noticed when I went to open a trade here. Well, no, I just noticed this was grayed out, and I'm using the same account. Strange. As I say, I rarely take another trade anyway, but that's weird. I'll just have to check my settings though. It might be that I've set it to 1600, thinking 6 o'clock. I don't know. I'll have a look. But unfortunately, when you're locked out, you can't get back in until the following day. That's not the end of the world. could get an evaluation, but I tend to trade those like a muppet. In fact, let's just grab one of them. At least I can trade. So first and foremost, let's get these onto a sim. I don't need replicants on there, so I can get rid of that. Let me just pick up an evaluation. I do think it's a pain in the arse having to do this authenticator. Excuse me just a sec. Oh, new wallet. Cricket one. Okay. Good thing is if I pass it, it's only going to cost me $40 to okay. Let's give that a minute to kick in. What system do I trade? PATS, something called PATS. Just a price action trading. So just wait for that that evaluation to kick in. It shouldn't take a minute. Yeah, PATS. There's no kind of. It's just a price action. Kind of just following the price really. Looking for second entries, failures, and triple tests mainly. In fact, I think it's a lot of these systems are very similar. If I wait for a move down here, someone else might not be looking at my exact chart, but they're still entering at the same kind of area. So I think this is likely to push on up. There are orders there at 40, as you can see, and there are orders right up to 50. So I think this is going to move up. But what it does before it moves up, we may come back down here and test something down here before it does. Okay, I'm just going to take a bathroom break. I'll be a quick minute.
Order submitted. Order cancelled.
Oh, I just spent 10 minutes talking a load of bollocks to myself. It's not the first time I've talked to myself, don't worry. No, I was just saying the comment, Lance thinks he's still trading Pats. Yeah, a version of it. I think we've all adapted it slightly. But I had this conversation with Mac in a couple of emails a while back, and he said, I teach you the basics, then you kind of find your own way of doing things. Your own style, were the words he used. I don't know many people who scalp for a point. He does. But yeah, I mean, you use it as a base idea, and then you kind of find it doesn't matter what you could be a carpenter, and you get taught it at college, and you all kind of have your own kind of different style of doing it. I use Bookmap mainly. I started using this to keep me out of a trade. If I was looking to take a trade off the button, I'm not particularly good at ranges. But if I was looking to take a trade here and I saw a massive amount of sellers, that would just tell me just to sit tight. So that's kind of how I use it. I know Mac doesn't use Bookmap or whatever, what he uses in the background, but I find it just gives me that little bit of confidence if I can see where other traders are, as opposed to just looking at the bars and, I can see where they've been. I talk to myself. It's kind of why I like streaming, because I'm more verbal. I sometimes if I'm talking through what I'm doing, it helps me kind of hear it a little bit more. It's just thinking out aloud, isn't it? So we got a leg up, a little bit of sideways, and a push up again. You can see these orders up here. There are some at 45, so these orders are more likely to get it. Whether it happens now or whether it pulls back first and pushes up, but you can see these strong sellers up here, and obviously at 50, we're clearly going up. But you don't know, when I first started using Bookmap, I thought, oh, this is where we're going. Let's just jump in along here. Doesn't mean it won't pull back and bounce here and stop you out before it pushes. It just gives us a general guidance of where these sellers, as we know, acts as magnets, where price is likely to get to. Okay, so okay, Thomas Wade's adjusted his as well. He's looking at the same as me. He had it down here a bit, but he's adjusted his as well. So at least we're all thinking along the same lines anyway. So we know there are buyers down here. See, with this channel up, this kind of move up, I'd expect this to at least get down to this area. As I say, I can see buyers 30. So if we get two legs down, there's bound to be buyers along this area. We're kind of working in this bottom section, aren't we? This kind of bottom tier. So it may come back here. So so a little micro down there. Looks like we've had a break. Small break there, and you'll probably tighten that up a bit. Small break, a new high there. So I would expect this to come down below here a bit anyway. This is the area for me. As I say, you can see there's buyers down here, and we know price moves towards liquidity, and there's some down here. So two legs down, two legs up, two legs down. For some reason it's dropped back onto one contract. It's because I have it locked there. Yeah, it's just one evaluation. I've made me profit. For some reason, it blocked me out. I took one trade. It worked. So whether I put down 1600, as in thinking 6 o'clock, and it blocked me out at 4, I'll have to have a check tomorrow. Got it down as one loss, not necessarily one win as well. So I'm going to have to double check that. All of a sudden, it takes off. Who knew? So you see that order there. There are sellers there and up here. So a leg and a leg. Okay, I'm going to knock it on the head there, I think. I'll leave you guys to it. So where are we now? I think Thursday is half day, isn't it? Thanksgiving. I think it's half day. I'm not sure. It's hard to know. I can't remember from year to year. Do these sometimes people just trade them? But I think it's a big thing in the US, isn't it? So I'm guessing it's probably going to be quiet. So I may open a stream, and if it's dead, we'll just knock it on the head. So it's Tuesday day, Wednesday tomorrow. So tomorrow's a normal day. So I'm going to leave you folks to it. Have a good day. Have a great evening. Stay safe. And we'll catch up tomorrow and do it all again. Bye for now.